Is Prince Edward's role in the monarchy more crucial than it seems? As Queen Camilla's influence grows and King Charles reshapes the royal family, Edward remains a quiet force behind tradition. While Camilla takes center stage, Edward works behind the scenes, ensuring stability. But does his reserved presence hold more power than many assume? How do his duties compare to Camilla's rising prominence? And what does their dynamic reveal about the monarchy's future? Let's unfold their rivalry in detail. Prince Edward has always been one of the most understated members of the British royal family, a man who preferred to stay out of the limelight. Yet, despite his quiet nature, his role within the monarchy has become increasingly significant, especially in the wake of Queen Elizabeth II's passing. With King Charles III now firmly on the throne and Queen Camilla taking on a more prominent role, the dynamics of the royal family have shifted in ways that few could have predicted. Unlike his older brother Charles, who was always destined for the crown, or his sister Anne, known for her strong-willed approach to royal duties, Edward has often been regarded as the most reserved of the Queen's children. Born on March 10, 1964, at Buckingham Palace, Edward was the youngest child of Queen Elizabeth II and Prince Philip. This meant he grew up in a world of tradition, duty, and protocol, yet he was far enough removed from the direct line of succession to have more flexibility in shaping his own path. As a child, he was educated at Gordonstoun, the same rigorous Scottish boarding school attended by his father and brothers. Unlike Prince Philip, who thrived in Gordonstoun's strict environment, Edward found it challenging. He was not particularly drawn to the outdoors or competitive sports, but he persevered and completed his schooling. His academic journey continued at Jesus College, Cambridge, where he studied history, making him the first child of a reigning monarch to complete a full-time university degree. Edward's early career was far from traditional. In 1986, following in his father's military footsteps, he joined the Royal Marines. However, after just 4 months, he made the decision to leave, realizing that military life was not suited for him. His departure was widely scrutinized at the time, with critics accusing him of failing to uphold royal expectations. However, Edward took this as an opportunity to pursue his personal interests rather than follow a predetermined path. His passion led him to the entertainment and media industry, where he founded Ardent Productions in 1993, a company focused on historical documentaries and royal-themed programming. While his attempt to break into television was met with mixed reviews, it showcased his deep interest in storytelling and history. Despite Ardent's eventual struggles, Edward's dedication to preserving historical narratives continued, particularly through his work with the Duke of Edinburgh's Award, an initiative started by his father. While Edward was charting his professional course, another transformation was happening within the royal family, one that would eventually place Queen Camilla in a position of unprecedented influence. To understand the current dynamic between Edward and Camilla, it's crucial to look at how her role within the monarchy has evolved over the years. Camilla's entrance into the royal family was anything but conventional. Her relationship with Charles dates back to the early 1970s, yet their romance was overshadowed by the expectations placed upon the future king. Charles ultimately married Princess Diana, a union that became one of the most publicized and scrutinized relationships in royal history. However, his connection with Camilla never truly faded. Following Diana's tragic passing in 1997, Charles and Camilla slowly reintroduced their relationship to the public, culminating in their marriage in 2005. For years, Camilla's role remained carefully controlled. She was given the title Duchess of Cornwall rather than Princess of Wales, out of respect for Diana's legacy. Many questioned whether she would ever be accepted by the British public. Yet, through years of dedication to charitable work and unwavering support for Charles, she gradually gained public approval. By the time Queen Elizabeth II passed away in 2022, Camilla was no longer a controversial figure, she was a central figure in the monarchy. With Charles ascending to the throne, Camilla's status changed overnight. She became Queen Consort, a title that had been debated for years. Queen Elizabeth herself had publicly expressed her wish for Camilla to hold this title, solidifying her acceptance within the royal family. However, with this elevation came new responsibilities, new influence, and a shift in the internal power dynamics of the monarchy. Prince Edward, always the diplomat, has maintained a courteous relationship with Camilla over the years. Unlike some members of the royal family who were hesitant about her role, Edward has remained professional and respectful. His approach has always been one of quiet dedication to duty, rather than engaging in internal conflicts. However, it is undeniable that Camilla's rising influence has altered the balance within the family. Edward's relationship with Camilla has never been as widely discussed as that of other royals, but they have shared a professional bond within the monarchy's framework. Both have worked on charitable initiatives, attended numerous royal events together, and played supporting roles in King Charles's reign. Unlike Prince Harry, who has openly shared his views on Camilla in his memoir, Edward has never publicly commented on her influence. His silence, however, does not necessarily indicate indifference. It may instead reflect his preference to maintain unity within the family. Edward and Camilla's interactions have always been cordial, but the question remains, how does Edward truly feel about her growing influence? Given that he is now Duke of Edinburgh, a title that came with his father's legacy, he carries a different kind of responsibility within the royal family. His focus remains on youth development and public service, areas that have defined his royal work for decades. But as Camilla's presence within the monarchy expands, there are inevitable shifts in the dynamics of the working royals. Edward's ascension to the Duke of Edinburgh title in 2023 was a significant moment, one that marked his official recognition as a senior royal. This transition placed him alongside Camilla in terms of importance within the royal framework, yet their roles differ vastly. Camilla, as queen, is now one of the monarchy's most visible figures, while Edward continues to operate in a more measured behind-the-scenes capacity. As the monarchy moves forward under Charles's leadership, Edward's position remains as it always has, quietly influential, unwavering in duty, and dedicated to continuing the work his father started. He is not one for public disputes or dramatic statements, but his presence within the monarchy is essential. While the press often focuses on the high-profile royals, Edward's role as a stabilizing force should not be underestimated. The relationship between Prince Edward and Queen Camilla is not one of conflict, but rather a reflection of how the monarchy adapts to change. Camilla's rise to queen has brought new dynamics to the royal family, but Edward's position has also solidified. His work may not make headlines as often as others, but his impact is deeply felt within the institution. As the royal family continues to evolve, one thing remains clear. Edward has never sought the limelight, but he has become an indispensable part of the monarchy's foundation. His approach to change is one of patience and duty, ensuring that even as power shifts within the royal family, stability remains at its core. While Prince Edward has remained a quiet force within the royal family, his responsibilities have expanded significantly in recent years. As he stepped into the role of Duke of Edinburgh, he continued to uphold his father's legacy while adapting to the evolving structure of the monarchy. His relationship with Queen Camilla remained professional, but the shifts in power dynamics within the royal family have placed them in different spheres of influence. With King Charles III now firmly on the throne, Edward's role has become more defined, yet his reserved nature keeps him out of the media spotlight. His work with the Duke of Edinburgh's award has been one of his most significant contributions to public service. Founded by Prince Philip in 1956, the award program encourages young people to develop life skills, resilience, and leadership qualities. Edward's deep involvement in this initiative has given him a unique position within the monarchy, focusing on real-world impact rather than ceremonial duties. His commitment to the program has expanded its reach, ensuring that young people from various backgrounds have access to opportunities that build confidence and independence. While Edward's professional dedication is evident, his role within the royal family's internal structure remains more complex. With Queen Camilla assuming a larger role alongside King Charles, the balance of influence among the senior royals has shifted. Edward and Sophie have been long-standing supporters of Charles, maintaining loyalty and discretion throughout the transitions of power. However, Camilla's rise has changed the internal order of things. And while there are no overt tensions, there is a noticeable difference in how responsibilities are divided among the royals. For much of his life, Edward has occupied a space that allowed him to function without the same pressures that Charles and even Prince William have faced. While Charles spent decades preparing for the throne, Edward was able to carve out his own path. Even now, as Charles shapes the modern monarchy, Edward continues to focus on his own responsibilities rather than positioning himself in any larger power structure. His support for his brother has been unwavering, but his style of working is markedly different from the more public-facing approach of Charles and Camilla. Camilla's presence in the royal family has always been the subject of public discussion, particularly after she became queen. Unlike Edward, who has largely stayed out of controversies, Camilla has faced public scrutiny for decades due to her history with Charles and the complex nature of her entrance into the royal fold. However, her influence has grown significantly since Queen Elizabeth II's passing, and she has taken on more active roles within the monarchy. Her presence in key royal engagements signals her importance in supporting Charles, a role that was carefully shaped over time. Despite their different trajectories, Edward and Camilla have worked together at various royal engagements, and their public interactions have always been cordial. While they do not have the same long-standing working relationship that Camilla shares with Charles, their roles now require them to function as part of the same inner circle. This shift is particularly evident in the way Camilla's role has extended beyond supporting Charles. She has become an active figure in the monarchy's day-to-day affairs. For Edward, the monarchy has always been about duty rather than personal ambition. He has taken on the responsibilities expected of him, but he has never sought to expand his influence beyond what was necessary. His decision to remain a full-time working royal, despite not being in direct succession, demonstrates his commitment to the institution rather than personal gain. Camilla, on the other hand, has had to navigate a far more public transformation, moving from an outsider to one of the most visible figures in the royal family. Edward's relationship with his brother Charles has always been one of quiet support. Unlike Prince Andrew, whose controversies have overshadowed his royal work, or Prince Harry, whose departure from royal duties caused a major shift in the monarchy, Edward has remained a consistent figure. His respect for tradition and his ability to adapt without creating conflict have made him a valuable member of the family. This approach has allowed him to build a solid reputation, earning the trust of both the late Queen Elizabeth and now King Charles. As King Charles continues to shape his reign, Edward's presence within the monarchy remains stable, but largely behind the scenes. He takes on engagements, represents the family at important events, and continues to oversee the Duke of Edinburgh's award program. However, he does not actively seek the same level of visibility as Camilla or even William and Catherine, the Prince and Princess of Wales. His preference for working in the background contrasts with Camilla's increasing role in public engagements, reinforcing the difference in how each member of the royal family navigates their responsibilities. Sophie, the Duchess of Edinburgh, has also played a crucial role in maintaining Edward's steady presence within the monarchy. Her work in public service, particularly in areas concerning gender equality and disability rights, has mirrored Edward's commitment to charitable efforts. Together, they have formed a partnership that complements their quiet but impactful roles within the royal family. Sophie's growing profile as a senior royal has also allowed her to take on more responsibilities, ensuring that she and Edward continue to contribute meaningfully to the institution. While the monarchy has evolved under King Charles's leadership, one of the biggest challenges remains maintaining public support and ensuring the institution remains relevant in modern times. Edward's approach to this challenge has been rooted in consistency, focusing on the initiatives that have long defined his work. Camilla, meanwhile, has had to redefine her public image, stepping into a role that carries significant expectations. Her ability to navigate this transition successfully has solidified her place as queen, but it has also meant that other members of the royal family must adjust to the new hierarchy. The balance of power within the monarchy is constantly shifting, and Edward's role is one that provides stability rather than disruption. He does not engage in political debates, nor does he seek to influence public opinion. His work is centered on continuity, ensuring that the legacy of the royal family remains intact while adapting to necessary changes. This makes him a unique figure within the monarchy, someone who is neither a challenger nor a passive participant, but rather a steady force in an ever-changing institution. As Camilla takes on more responsibilities and solidifies her position as queen, Edward's role will likely remain one of quiet dedication. He may not be at the forefront of royal decision-making, but his presence ensures that the family retains a sense of continuity. His work with the Duke of Edinburgh's award program continues to expand, and his commitment to supporting King Charles remains firm. Looking ahead, the monarchy faces both external and internal challenges. The younger generation of royals, including Prince William and Catherine, represent the future. But figures like Edward and Camilla play crucial roles in the present. Their responsibilities may differ, but they each serve as pillars of the institution, helping to maintain the balance that is essential for the monarchy's long-term stability. Edward's ability to maintain a steady course despite the many changes within the royal family speaks to his character. He has never sought attention, nor has he attempted to reshape the monarchy to suit his own vision. Instead, he has quietly upheld the values instilled in him by his parents while ensuring that his work remains impactful. Camilla's rise to queen may have altered the structure of the royal family, but Edward's steadfast commitment to duty remains unchanged. The monarchy's future will inevitably bring more adjustments, but Edward's position as a key figure within the institution is firmly set. His legacy may not be defined by grand statements or controversial decisions, but rather by his quiet influence and dedication to service. As the royal family continues to evolve, Edward's presence will remain a vital part of its foundation, ensuring that the institution retains both stability and purpose. Prince Edward's steady presence within the royal family has been a defining trait throughout his life. While others have found themselves at the center of controversy or public scrutiny, Edward has remained consistent in his dedication to duty. His approach has always been measured, never seeking to outshine his brother, King Charles, nor attempting to carve out a dramatic or attention-seeking path for himself. Instead, he has focused on his work, supporting charitable initiatives and maintaining the stability that has long been expected of him. As Queen Camilla continues to solidify her role within the monarchy, the way in which she and Edward coexist within the framework of the royal family has become increasingly important. Camilla's path to becoming queen has been one of careful transformation. Once viewed with skepticism by the public due to her history with Charles, she has spent years rebuilding her public image. By taking on numerous charitable causes, supporting literacy programs, and becoming an advocate for victims of domestic violence, she has managed to reshape perception. When Queen Elizabeth II made it clear that she wished for Camilla to take on the title of Queen Consort, it was a significant moment. It signaled a full acceptance of Camilla's role, not just by the monarchy, but by the institution as a whole. Edward, in contrast, has never needed to rehabilitate his image or fight for public acceptance. He has simply carried on with his responsibilities, content with his role as a senior royal. His work with the Duke of Edinburgh's award has remained one of the most respected initiatives under the royal umbrella, impacting thousands of young people across the Commonwealth. While his work is not as widely covered by the media as other members of the royal family, his influence in these areas is undeniable. Despite their differences, Edward and Camilla now find themselves as key figures within the reign of King Charles. Camilla's presence is far more public, as she stands beside the king at state functions, foreign visits, and major royal engagements. Edward, on the other hand, operates in a quieter capacity. While he is present at important events, his contributions are often behind the scenes, ensuring that the monarchy's charitable efforts and long-standing programs continue without disruption. Their working relationship has been one of professionalism rather than personal closeness. Unlike Charles and Camilla, whose bond was built over decades, Edward's connection with Camilla has been largely shaped by duty. They have attended engagements together, shared responsibilities in representing the crown, and supported similar causes, but their interactions have never been marked by deep personal friendship. This is not due to any tension between them, but rather a reflection of their different roles and personalities within the royal family. Edward's relationship with his brother, King Charles, has been similarly understated. While Charles spent much of his life preparing for kingship, Edward was allowed to explore different avenues before fully committing to royal duties. This has resulted in a dynamic where Edward is both a supporter of his brother's reign and a figure with a degree of independence. His new role as Duke of Edinburgh has placed him in a position of greater prominence, yet he has continued to operate with the same level of discretion that has defined his life. One of the key factors that differentiate Edward from Camilla is how they have adapted to their evolving roles. Camilla has had to become a public figure in a way that Edward never has. Her presence is scrutinized, analyzed, and constantly discussed in the media. Edward, in contrast, has been able to maintain a certain level of privacy while still fulfilling his duties. He is not expected to be a spokesperson for the monarchy in the way that Charles, Camilla, or even Prince William and Catherine are. Instead, his role is one of quiet influence, ensuring that the traditions and programs set in place by previous generations continue to thrive. As the monarchy continues to evolve, Edward's presence provides a sense of continuity. He represents a link to the past while remaining adaptable to the future. His father's legacy is one he has embraced wholeheartedly, ensuring that the work Prince Philip started with the Duke of Edinburgh's award remains relevant in modern times. His ability to carry on this work without seeking personal recognition has earned him the respect of those within the institution and beyond. Camilla's role, on the other hand, is centered around direct representation of the monarchy. She is expected to be seen to engage with the public and to stand alongside Charles as his most trusted confidant. Her transformation from Duchess of Cornwall to Queen has been gradual, but now that she holds this title, she has no choice but to embrace its full responsibilities. Unlike Edward, who has had the luxury of remaining somewhat in the background, Camilla is in a position where every move she makes is under scrutiny. This difference in their public expectations means that while they are both senior members of the royal family, they do not operate in the same capacity. Edward's role is largely one of continuity, ensuring that the monarchy maintains its long-standing traditions. Camilla's role is one of adaptation, proving that the monarchy can modernize while still upholding its traditions. Their coexistence within this structure is not one of competition, but rather a demonstration of how different types of royal figures contribute to the overall institution. For Edward, the future holds more of the same dedicated service, continued expansion of the Duke of Edinburgh's award, and a steadfast commitment to the monarchy. His personality and approach to royal life mean that he is unlikely to ever seek more than what he has. Camilla, however, still faces the challenge of defining her legacy as queen. While she has gained public acceptance, she remains a figure who will be constantly evaluated as the reign of King Charles progresses. As time moves forward, their positions within the monarchy will remain vital, even if their styles of contribution are vastly different. Edward's reserved approach and Camilla's high-profile responsibilities are both essential to maintaining the balance of the institution. They may not be the most talked-about figures within the royal family, but their work ensures that the monarchy continues to function as it always has, adapting when necessary while holding on to the values that define it. Their interactions will continue to be guided by duty rather than deep personal connection. Yet their coexistence within the royal family serves a purpose. While Camilla stands beside the king, representing the monarchy to the world, Edward remains the steady force behind the scenes, upholding the traditions that have long shaped the institution. Their paths may be different, but together, they help ensure that the monarchy remains stable, no matter how much the world around them changes. As the monarchy continues to evolve under King Charles, the roles of its senior members have become more defined. Prince Edward has fully embraced his responsibilities as the Duke of Edinburgh, continuing his father's legacy through the Duke of Edinburgh's award. Queen Camilla, meanwhile, has stepped into her role with confidence, standing beside Charles as one of the most visible figures in the monarchy. Though their approaches differ, both Edward and Camilla are vital in maintaining stability within the institution. Edward has never sought public attention, preferring to focus on his initiatives without the scrutiny faced by other senior royals. His leadership in the Duke of Edinburgh's award has strengthened the program's reach, ensuring it continues to impact young people. His role is rooted in service rather than visibility, allowing him to work with a degree of independence. Camilla's path has been entirely different. As queen, she represents the monarchy in official engagements, public ceremonies, and international visits. Unlike Edward, who operates behind the scenes, Camilla is expected to align her public image with the direction of Charles's reign. She has taken on patronages, supported charities, and adapted to her increasing responsibilities, ensuring that she is an active member of the royal family rather than simply the wife of the king. Despite their different approaches, Edward and Camilla share a mutual understanding of their roles. They are both dedicated to the monarchy's success, even if their responsibilities do not often intersect. Their ability to work within their own spheres while maintaining a united front is crucial in preserving the monarchy's stability, especially at a time when public attitudes toward the royal family continue to shift. Edward's reputation for reliability has made him an essential figure in supporting King Charles's vision for the future. While the king has sought to streamline the monarchy, Edward remains a trusted presence. His ability to carry out his duties without controversy makes him an asset, particularly when compared to other royals whose actions have drawn public criticism. Unlike his brother Andrew, whose scandals have damaged the monarchy, or Prince Harry, whose departure raised questions about the institution's internal dynamics, Edward remains a stabilizing force. Camilla's role as queen has been largely successful in terms of public perception. While there was initial resistance to her position, she has steadily gained acceptance through her work and her unwavering support of Charles. She understands the importance of balancing tradition with modern expectations, a crucial aspect of her role in maintaining the monarchy's relevance. Her transition from a controversial figure to a respected senior royal has been one of the most significant changes in the institution in recent years. Edward and Camilla's coexistence within the monarchy is defined by professionalism rather than personal closeness. They do not share a long history, nor do they operate within the same areas of influence. Yet their roles complement each other in ways that strengthen the monarchy as a whole. Edward's quiet dedication ensures that the institution's long-standing traditions continue, while Camilla's more public presence reinforces the monarchy's engagement with the public. As the royal family moves forward, both Edward and Camilla will continue to play their respective roles in securing the monarchy's future. Their approaches may differ, but their commitment to the crown remains steadfast. In a time of change, their presence provides necessary balance, helping to reinforce the stability that the monarchy relies upon. As the royal family moves into a new era under King Charles, figures like Prince Edward and Queen Camilla play essential roles in maintaining the monarchy's structure. While their responsibilities differ, they both serve as stabilizing forces within an institution that continues to face public scrutiny and modern challenges. Edward remains committed to upholding tradition, while Camilla adapts to the expectations of her role as queen. Together, they contribute to the monarchy's ability to balance continuity with change. Edward's influence, though often understated, is significant. His leadership in the Duke of Edinburgh's award ensures that the legacy of Prince Philip continues to benefit young people across the Commonwealth. His reliability has allowed him to remain a trusted figure within the royal family, someone who carries out his duties without controversy or distraction. His position as Duke of Edinburgh further cements his status as a senior royal, even if his work does not often attract the same level of attention as others within the family. Camilla's presence, on the other hand, has become more central to the monarchy's public image. As queen, she is expected to be highly visible, supporting Charles at official events and engagements. Her transformation from a private figure to a key royal has been a carefully managed process, ensuring that she is seen as an integral part of the institution. While Edward focuses on long-term projects and maintaining tradition, Camilla's role requires her to navigate the present, reinforcing the monarchy's connection with the public. Their responsibilities may not often overlap, but they share a common purpose, ensuring the monarchy remains stable and relevant. Edward's steady approach and Camilla's adaptability reflect the different ways in which the royal family continues to evolve. While public attention may be drawn more to the younger generation, their contributions remain essential in shaping the monarchy's future. As King Charles continues his reign, Edward and Camilla will each play their part in supporting his vision. The monarchy's success depends not just on its most visible figures, but on those who work quietly to uphold its traditions. Their presence provides reassurance that, even as times change, the values that define the institution will endure. Their roles may differ, but their commitment remains the same, ensuring the royal family remains a steady force in an ever-changing world. With that, we have reached the end of today's video. If you have come this far with us, be sure to check out other videos on the channel.